coastline of Britain is over 11,000 miles long, home to thousands of species of birds, fish, mammals, and much more. From rocky cliffs to sandy dunes, these ecosystems sustain life in incredible ways. Many large predators grace these waters. However, Britain's largest native carnivore is the grey seal. Grey seals are remarkable divers and can dive up to 100 meters, yet they often prefer more shallow depths. They dance in the shimmering sunlight, curious, beautiful, captivating. This cow is currently part of a grey seal colony in the Farne Islands facing out into the North Sea. However, there is an enormous seal population that spans the length of the British coastline. Our shores are home to around 40% of the world's grey seal population, as well as around 5% of the world's common seal population. The seal populations are thriving in the wild, yet as with every species, they face many challenges. To get the full picture, we need to look beyond the shoreline. The Wash is a vast shallow bay that curves between Lincolnshire and Norfolk. It's the largest estuary system in the UK and offers the perfect conditions for many to call home. For both humans and wildlife, the Wash is a plentiful ecosystem with a sheltered shoreline acting as a perfect fish nursery. And where there's lots of fish, seals are commonplace. At Blakeney Point, there is a gigantic colony of both grey and common seals, helped by the fact that the area is cordoned off from visitors. If you do want to see them, the best way is by boat. The location presents the ideal refuge. There are no natural predators in these waters, and the mother and pups are well protected from stormy seas. There are over 45,000 common seals in UK waters. Compared to grey seals, they have more rounded faces and a shorter snout. Further along the Norfolk coast, we find a group of juvenile common seals drying off. When common seals haul out of the water, they tend to space themselves out, basking in the sun. Areas like this are ideal for young seals. While this group is well on the way to maturing to adulthood, life for every seal is not quite so simple. Such as the case for this small pup. It calls for attention. However, this pup was rescued after being abandoned by its mother. At Sea Life in Hunstanton, they have a specialist seal hospital that is well equipped to rehabilitate pups that have been rescued by staff.
Hi, I'm Katie, this is Sea Life Hunstanton and this is our seal hospital. So over here we have Ice-T. She was our first seal rescue of the season. So she was found on Snettersham Beach, which is just about 10 minutes down the road from here. She was abandoned and extremely small and extremely skinny. When we took her in, it was just a case of getting her nice and fat and giving that love and attention that she needed to grow nice and big and strong. We're still working on her there because she hasn't quite figured out she's a seal and she needs to learn how to swim and eat fish, but we're getting there slowly but surely. Our second one is Rubicon. He's our oldest seal here. He was also rescued from Snettisham, but he, unlike Ice-T, decided that the mud flats were the better place for him, so it's a bit of a mission to rescue him. He's our big boy and he's on pure herring now and he's on track to be a perfect rescue for his guys here. He's doing really well. Our third rescue here is Nesquik. He was a newborn, so he still had his umbilicus attached to him. He's finally learned that he's a seal and he's starting to swim and he's getting really loud and rowdy, which we love to see here.
Along the coast, there are numerous centres that specialise in seal rescue, rehabilitation and re-release.
So my name is Sophie and I'm the assistant curator here at Hunstanton Sea Life. So that means if it's an animal, I'm in charge of it, and I also care for our lovely team of aquarists that take care of our animals daily as well. So we have a seal hospital here, and that means we're able to rescue pups in need, both common seals and grey seals throughout the year. So we rescue common seals in the summer, obviously when they're born, and that's often pups that have been abandoned too early by their mum and just need a little bit of TLC. Sometimes it's pups that are poorly. For example, they might have a high parasite burden or an injury that's perhaps due to poor weather out on the coastline, or potentially even something caused by humans. That might be due to a dog attack or even things like plastic pollution. So we're here to help those animals, to rehabilitate them, to make sure they are healthy and happy and capable of living a life out back in the wild. We rehabilitate them in our hospital. They spend time in those pens, making sure they can eat properly, making sure they're gaining weight. They then go out to our further pool, which is used semi-permanently when the residents aren't using it, to help them build muscle, make sure they're happy in deep water. And then once we've had an AOK from our team and from our veterinary team, then we pop them back out into the wild. So it's a really important thing on the Norfolk coast. We have massive populations of both common and grey seals now, which thankfully have recovered since various virus outbreaks and other issues. So we're continuing to support those colonies, especially if anything does degrade their numbers again, but also to continue to make sure they're strong and healthy as well.
The beaches near towns such as Hunstanton are often resting spots for both grey and common seals. During the summer months, busier coastlines can unfortunately lead to more human interaction and more pup abandonment. Over the horizon, we find more seal colonies, including one of the largest pupping hotspots for grey seals. Towards the north of the Lincolnshire coastline, there is Donnanook. Every year, from November to January, grey seals come here to give birth and raise their young. After being pregnant for almost a year, female seals will return to the same spot at the same time every year to give birth. A grey seal pup, such as this one, is born at around 15 kilograms. They are covered in a soft white coat known as lanugo, which they molt away after 2 to 4 weeks. For the next 3 weeks, the pups suckle from their mothers. They will grow extremely fast, tripling their weight over this 3-week period. A strong bond forms between the mothers and their pup from birth, and the mother can recognize her pup from its smell and its call amidst the crowd. In 2022, over 2,000 grey seal pups were born here alone. Once the newborn pups are weaned and left by the mother, they shed their fur and prepare to venture into the sea, learning to swim and hunt on instinct alone. If they are successful, there's a very good chance that they can be spotted back here next year. Just over 10 miles south of Donanook is another centre that aids in seal rehabilitation, Mablethorpe Seal Sanctuary and Wildlife Centre. Being so close to the seal colony, they rehabilitate a large number of grey seal pups over winter and spring.
So my name's Alex Masterman, I'm a zookeeper here at Mablethorpe Seal Sanctuary. We here are both a zoo and a wildlife rescue, specialising mainly in seals and also seabirds. We take in a lot of pups that are poorly or abandoned, nurse them back to health and then send them back out into the wild where they belong. So numbers of seals varies year to year. Some years it gets up to 30, 40 seals in a season. Some years it gets down to as low as 5. At the moment we've got 7 seals in, 1 common and 6 grey seal pups, but they will continue to come in all throughout the year.
While the centre aims to release every seal that they care for, some seals have health issues that would impact their chance of survival in the wild and are kept at the centre to be cared for. What makes Mablethorpe unique is that it cares for some of Britain's oldest seals. Nookie is 40 years old and his roommate Popeye is 27. They have lived here together for 27 years. Both of them are now blind and need to be hand-fed as a result. In the wild, they would have struggled to survive amongst a colony, so they have remained here, receiving the best quality of care possible. This blended family of resident seals consists of both grey and common seals, all living together in a large pool.
Got 7 seals down here at main pool, 3 grey seals and 4 common. Our oldest is Donna. She is a 39-year-old grey seal who came in with a really big wound on her back. She was one of the first seals that ever came in here and unfortunately needed a lot of hands-on care and attention. And at that time they weren't quite sure on the best ways to deal with seals, and that unfortunately meant she needed a lot of hands-on care and attention and led to her becoming very tame. That tameness meant that Donna would not be able to look after herself in the wild. If she had been released, she would have just come up on the beach and started trying to steal fish off people. So unfortunately she became one of our very first residents.
Alongside Donna, in the main pool, there is Splash, Billy, Bruce, William, Hermit, and Albie. Due to their circumstances and health issues, it's better for them to stay here, rather than being released into the wild. Tourism is a great benefit to the economy of coastal towns. However, with it brings vast quantities of litter. Around the world, an estimated 8 million tons of plastic enters the oceans each year. Seal pups are naturally inquisitive and can easily become entangled in plastic waste, such as frisbees or discarded fishing nets. When this happens, they cannot free themselves and require human intervention if they are to survive. Each year is seeing a regrettable increase in the amount of seals affected by entanglement. Additionally, seal populations are also vulnerable to disease outbreak, which could lead to a drastic population change within a colony. Due to the increasing construction of offshore wind farms, this will undoubtedly have an effect on the local seals. However, studies have shown that over time, artificial reefs can form around the turbines, encouraging prey and foraging opportunities for the seals. It therefore might be that in the future, Britain's seal colonies are encouraged to search for food a little further afield. Skegness, a traditional seaside town known for its holiday parks, promenade and amusement arcades. Here we find one of the busiest seal rehabilitation centres in the country, Natureland Seal Sanctuary.
My name is Matt Hewden and I'm one of the directors here at Skegness Natureland. It varies very much season to season how many seals we've got on site. It can be 1 or 2 other than the resident seals that we've got all year round, or it can be up to into the 20s really. Our hospital can house a good 9 inside and then another 6 or 7 outside, and then the rearing pool on top of that can house a good 12, so yeah, it stacks up quite well sometimes in the height of the pupping seasons. Here in Skegness and the surrounding sort of Lincolnshire areas, we're sandwiched between Donanook, which is one of the biggest colonies of grey seals. When it comes to pupping time, a few thousand are born there every year, and then a similar number south of us at Blakeney in Norfolk. That's another big pupping area during the winter, so we see quite a high concentration in between those 2 sites during the winter. And then in the summer as well, we face Blakeney Point having all their harbour seals again, a couple of thousand of pups being born there every year, and just off the sandbanks just over the wash from us really, a couple of miles out, we've got a fair few pups being born there as well, so we're being attacked from all angles.
When a seal is rescued and brought to Natureland, they first come to the hospital, before graduating to an outdoor nursery pool, and then finally transitioning to the rearing pool. Alongside a passion for rehabilitation, Natureland also has a focus on education too. They document many of the pups' journeys on social media. And they host daily talks from the keepers as they feed the seals. In the rearing pool, the pups are presented with the perfect environment to get ready for their release. During their time here, the pups will play, eat, swim, socialise, and of course, sleep. When feeding time arrives, the inquisitive pups gather in anticipation. It's not uncommon for thieves to be waiting on the sidelines. They are kept here until they reach a healthy weight, as well as being confident to eat fish on their own, ensuring the best chance for them in the wild. When a pup reaches this point, it's time for them to go home.
Okay, so the seal we released today is called Lychee. So this year's theme was fruit and veg, which is why he's named that. He also got that name because he was a little bit cheeky, which we thought suited Lychee. So he got released today because he weighed 30 kg, so that's their target. So he's just been getting fattened up after getting healthy again. We weighed him this morning, we weighed him once a week, and because he hit 30 kg, he got released. Lychee was rescued from Inkermells, which was just a little bit up the coast there. He came into us on the 23rd of July. He was underweight and probably been split up from mum, but he did also have some injuries. So he had an injured mouth, but he had quite a lot of blood in and around his mouth when we rescued him. So he received antibiotics to help those, but he was just split up from mum, which is why he would have been vulnerable to those things.
first time in his life, he is free to explore the sea on his own. At first he is confused, then slowly but surely he makes his departure. We don't know where Lychee will end up on his travels. In the future, he might return to this spot, or maybe he'll swim across the Wash and join a colony there. Perhaps he'll even go far north, past the Humber and beyond. We can't say for certain, but thanks to the dedication and care of seal sanctuaries around the coast, thousands of pups such as him have been given a second chance at life. And uncertain as the future may be for them, it's reassuring that beyond the shoreline, there is hope.